Yes, yo. Right, we should be live right about now. Let's have a look. Are we live? Are we live? Perfect. Yo, guys. Perfect. So yeah, good morning, everyone. Today's live stream will be me doing some analysis on, as you can see here, GBPUSD. I'll go over gold as well, and I'll basically go over my predictions for the month of March, and also my thoughts on the whole war situation happening at the moment, because that is, of course, something to speak about as well. And as we have a look right here on gold, we can see that immediately as the market opened, gold had moved up um, a very significant amount, okay? And it is currently looking very, very bullish. So I do think there will be some good opportunities to take some buys on gold, okay? Um, oh, I just got a payout request for Thunder Trading Plus. Sweet. Okay, cool. But yeah, morning everyone. So that's what I'll be doing today. I need to just quickly drink this vitamin drink because I'm a bit sick at the moment. I've got a cold in Thailand, so let me drink this. Needs to get better. All right. Oh, that was good. Good stuff. Okay. So yeah, good morning everyone. Um, everyone, like the stream before I begin. Go and like the stream, okay? And what we'll do is we'll start with looking at the DXY right here, okay? Because the DXY is the most important thing to consider when we are looking for trades, whether we're trading really gold or anything. It's important to understand what the DXY is doing. So right here, this was my prediction for the week ahead. Basically, I was thinking that potentially we could see a move to the upside here, which we've literally seen already, a, a move to take out the previous week high, and then possibly a move to the downside, reacting to this 4-hour supply zone right here, and also this big fair value gap that we are currently in on the weekly time frame. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm basically going to be monitoring this for hopefully a reaction to the downside, and then if that does happen, then um, morning, Tony, bro. Morning. Hope you had a good weekend, mate. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, sorry guys, I'm eating some apples. Uh, if the DXY does go down, then we can look for EU and GU to go up from there. Okay, so something like this would be good. If GU can come down and take out the previous week low, and then go up from there, that would be a very good place for us to be in. This broker is actually not working at the moment, so what we need to do for looking at GBPUSD is look on this broker, and you can see here that it actually has gone down. For some reason, the broker I normally use is not working. The FXCM one, that's weird. So we'll look at this one instead, and we'll just monitor this level here. So as you can see, we have tapped into this demand zone here literally perfectly. Um, yeah, FXCM is not working this morning, guys, so I would use Odano instead. As you can see right here, that's what I'm using now. Okay, we've tapped into this um, order block down here, and I'm not gonna be looking for a trade today because it's the first day of the new month, and there's also been that whole war news, of course. So I don't want to rush into anything, but I would be looking for a reaction from this level hopefully to the upside at some point. So it's probably not going to happen now. The market might go down a little bit more. It probably will, but I want to look for a reaction up at some point, okay? And then on gold, now I don't normally trade gold, but I do think there will be a lot of opportunity on gold and silver as well, because as the war tensions rise, typically these assets do perform better. So we could look for some longs on gold, but at the moment it's very, very high. What I would look for if I was going to trade is a move down into this new week opening gap here, and then possibly reaction from this level here could be really nice. Okay, that could be a very good level to take some buys from if we can come down into this, which I don't know if we will, to be honest. It could just be that gold just keeps on going up, but for me, I don't want to just take random buys at the moment right now. Like, I've seen a lot of people on TikTok saying, "Oh yeah, just go and take buys on gold." Like, sure, if you got some buys here at market open, then yes, you would be up a good amount of money. But it's not how you trade. You don't just trade by just pressing buy and hoping for the best. So that's not what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to wait for maybe a reaction from here and then look for some longs on that. And like I said for GU already, I'm just going to wait it out and see if we get a reaction from this demand zone, and then maybe look for some trades in the middle of the week to the upside potentially. And then as for the DXY, like I said as well, I'm just looking for a reaction to the downside from this level that we're in right now. Okay. Um, is it okay to buy EU because it's reacting to a 4 hour fair value gap? So this is from Joseph. So Joseph, to answer your question, let me go and have a look, mate. Um, Euro USD, where is it? Uh, I personally wouldn't, okay? Because first of all, right, you can see here that there is so much selling pressure at the moment, and when you're going to take buys, you don't want to be buying against the trend, and at the moment, the trend on the hourly is clearly to the downside. So there's a lot of selling pressure at the moment. Yes, we might be reacting to, for example, a 4 hour fair value gap, but just because we're in a fair value gap, it doesn't mean it has to react to it. So we are we are in this one here, and we are also in this one below it, like this, right? Which is, I believe, the ones you're talking about. But just because we're in these levels, it doesn't mean the market has to reverse. So I would not be looking for buys at the moment because clearly look at the selling pressure. The selling pressure is so strong. You don't just want to, do something like this and hope it's going to react to it, because I mean, it probably won't because the selling pressure is really strong. So instead, you want to wait. Okay, this is what I would do: is you want to wait for some sort of market structure shift. So maybe the market does something like this, right? And then we break past, let's say, this high here. Let's just imagine this is what happens on Monday, right? So today, imagine eventually EU does make a move to the upside, and we can confirm that from seeing some sort of change of character on maybe the hourly time frame. Then on Tuesday, that's when you would look for your trade, right? Because then you've seen the confirmation from that 4 hour fair value gap. As we've now seen a change of character, then you can look for your Asia low to get taken out on Tuesday and then look for some buys on Tuesday, because then there's more confirmation instead of just taking your trade praying that it reacts to the 4 hour fair value gap without any confirmation. So, yeah. Um, Joseph, if that makes sense, mate, just let me know. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Um, Someone said something about a gold hourly fair value gap. Okay, so I mean, even this right here, I get it, but I don't know, man. I feel like buying gold right now. I feel like, you know what? Whenever people think that something's gonna go up loads, normally it doesn't, and normally people's expectations are just not met. Okay, so when everyone is saying on TikTok and Instagram, "Oh, buy gold," I don't know. Like, it's probably not gonna go up as much as you think. Maybe it will, but um, I don't know. I'd be cautious taking buys for no reason, basically. Um, but to be honest, guys, there's really not a lot to talk about today because there's just loads of selling pressure coming in on Euro USD and GU and everything, and it's definitely not something that you want to be trading just yet. We definitely want to wait and be patient and see, for example, how it reacts to this demand zone here on the daily, and then trade based off that, okay, rather than just taking some random trades. There's a daily change of character on GU to the downside, so I'm looking at GU right here. personally for me, I don't see there hasn't been a daily change of character yet, okay? Because, and I'll give you a little lesson here. So this low here, right? This is the low that broke past these highs here, okay? So until this low here is broken through, then there isn't a daily change of character. Now, maybe you're thinking that because this daily candle here is bearish, it counts as a change of character. It doesn't. It doesn't count until it closes below this low here, right? Let's imagine it closes like that, then that there would be sure a daily change of character, but at the moment, as it is, because the candle hasn't closed, and it's also not below this low, which broke past these highs, then there's no change of character. Okay. Um, Now, if you're thinking maybe that, like, I don't know, this here's a change of character, this is not a change of character because this low here, right? This one did not cause a new high up here, right? So this is not a significant low to monitor. The only time there's a change of character is when the low that made a new high, for example, this one here is broken, okay? So this one here is not a change of character, and therefore the change of character hasn't happened yet until we break past this low. All good, bro. Happy you understand it. Um, I think I will have the same bearish bias for the euro and pound like last week, unless buying pressure comes from Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you now. Like, there is so much selling pressure. I'm definitely not going to be taking any buys anytime soon until we can maybe see a reaction to the upside. But another possible thing that we are seeing, guys, and you need to also remember is because the monthly candle has just opened, okay, what tends to happen, and we saw this in January, right, is the market will open, then go down to take some liquidity, and then it will end up closing bullish. And that's what happened in January. So if I go and show you it, I think it was more clear on GU, but if I go and show you the GU candle for January, you'll see right here, okay, if I go to the 4 hour, or maybe even the daily actually, let's look on the daily here, right? On the daily time frame for January, like look at what happened here. This is really important to understand, guys. So the market opened like here, right? So it's 1st of January, and then it went down to begin with, but then it went up, right? Like that, and then it came down again, and then it closed right here. Okay? So if we draw this to the right, this here is what January did, right? It went down, then it went up. Once it had taken out liquidity to the downside, okay? So there was loads of liquidity down here, for example. It came down, it took it out, then it went up, and then it retraced back again to close the month of January actually bullish. And you can tell that um, well, yeah, I mean that's literally what we might be seeing now. So sometimes just because the month is starting bearish, it doesn't mean it's going to end bearish, and most of the times it doesn't mean that at all. It means it's just taking liquidity like it did in January, okay, like we saw down here, to then continue going up. So that could definitely be what we're seeing at the moment for March. Okay, so I would consider that as a possibility that maybe what we're seeing, for example, is March coming down to take out this low, okay, grabbing the liquidity from this low, maybe tapping into some sort of fair value gap down here, maybe on the weekly time frame. Okay, for example, if I get rid of this rubbish here, get rid of that. For example, like this fair value gap there, right? Then maybe it would react to that. Once it's come down and taken out the liquidity, then it can come back to the upside. Because overall, I do think the market is still bullish. Like clearly, if we look on the weekly time frame, it still is trending up. If we zoom out even more, it still is trending up. Okay, so I think overall, I think it will eventually go back up. But right now, we're just seeing a bit of a retracement. When would you change your minds and look for sells? I would probably consider maybe changing my mind if we do get a very strong close below this low here, right? Because then, like I said, that would be a daily change of character. Um, and then at that point, yes, probably sells um, are worth taking until we can see a reaction to the upside to then reconfirm the bullish bias. Okay, so this level here that we're currently in is definitely a key level to monitor. And at the moment, I definitely don't want to take any buys as it stands because the market is clearly looking bearish on the lower time frames, like the 4 hour and the hourly. So if you still take loads of buys, you're just going to keep losing. So the only way I'm going to take buys is if we do see a confirmation that we are going back to the upside, um, or I might start looking for sells if we can see this daily change of character happen below this low here, and then yeah. Um, Although I thought that the war in the Middle East will weaken the dollar, but the opposite's happened. I thought the same as well, to be honest. But um, this could just simply be manipulation on the dollar to come up to this big fair value gap here on the weekly time frame, and then maybe go down. Right? That's like sometimes even if there is terrible news for the dollar or whatever, it will actually do the opposite because it is just manipulation. So always got to keep that in mind as well. The market doesn't really listen to anything; it just kind of does what it wants. And then once it's taken out enough liquidity, then it will actually do what it should have done in the first place, which is probably go down. But at the moment, yeah, it's not doing that. If there's any other questions about anything, just feel free to let me know, and I will reply to some questions about anything you guys have to ask me. Okay, so yeah, just feel free to let me know. What's your outlook on gold? So gold, I think is going to be very bullish for the next couple of weeks for sure, but I'm just waiting to see maybe a pullback into some sort of fair value gap to then look for some buys basically on gold. Um, Hello Sal, this question is about risk management. If you have two 5k challenges, would you risk 2% on one of them to pass quickly? Thanks, bro, for what you're doing. Um, yeah, I mean, so it depends, of course, on um, how much money you have. Okay, regardless of if the of the 5k challenges, because I would like a 5k challenge is not a lot. It's not really a big deal, but it depends on how much money you have. Okay, if you don't have loads of money, then it doesn't matter about the size of the account. Any size account will be a big deal. So, um, if a 5k account isn't a big deal for you, then sure, be more risky on one account and risk 2%. Because if you blow it, it doesn't matter. But if a 5k account is a big deal, then I would just say don't risk 2% and just play it safe with risking 1% on each account. So it depends on you, to be honest. It depends on, like, yeah, it totally depends on you. For example, You know, some people they won't care if they lose the 5k account, so they'll just risk 3%, right? Because it doesn't really matter to them. But if it matters to you, then I would recommend just sticking to 1%. Okay, so yeah. Um, Sal, I got two 5k accounts. One with funded next, and one is another two-step challenge kind of copy trade. Uh, I believe I'm sure there are ways you can copy trade. You can use like social trader tool, and you could probably make one of them a master account. Would I recommend copy trading? Personally, no. Especially if you've only got two accounts, bro. Just literally log into both of those accounts on your MetaTrader 5, and then like when you take a trade, just swap accounts and take it on the other one. Like you don't need a copy trader to do that. That takes 1 second, bro. So I wouldn't do copy trading if I was you. The thing is, for me, a challenge is a challenge, so I go risky to pass. As if I fail, I know I can go again. But if I pass them, I'm much more careful as it's now an asset. Yeah, Tony, 100%. So those challenges, um, if you have a job, which I know you do, and if you've got decent income, then be more risky on those accounts. Like you don't need to risk 0.5% on this challenge account. There's no point doing that. So, I agree with you. You should be more risky on the challenges, especially if you have a good job that allows you to maybe pay for a few challenges a month to go for, because the challenges don't make you any money. So what's the point of taking them slow? Unless you don't have loads of money, okay? Which most of you don't. But if you have a good job, then I would say be more risky on the challenges, because that's the quickest way to get funded, okay? Um okay guys, well that's it from me. Sorry it's quite a short live. There's just nothing really else for me to speak about, and I'm a bit sick today, so I need to just get some rest. But um, yeah, that's it. Like I said, just take it really slow, because there is a war happening at the moment. It's the first day of the month, or first day of um, the new monthly candle. So just don't rush into anything. Take it slow and wait for price action to play out a bit, and then we can see how the market reacts to the levels that I mentioned on this video. Okay. If you want to join the free Discord, it is linked in the description. Join the free Discord. I do giveaways. I do. There's free education videos in there as well. So check that out. And other than that, I'll see you guys next Monday for the next free live trading call. Okay. Yeah. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Oh yeah, and watch the new YouTube vlog as well. That was out yesterday. Cool, guys.